Hello and welcome to our International Youth Parliament Ambassador and Delegate training. And this training, I'm so happy to be sharing with you. I've prepared hours and hours for this because it's so important. We're talking about the 10 keys to effective speaking when you speak in a presentation or when you speak anytime, and then how to communicate diplomatically with diplomacy, and you're going to learn what that means. So I honor everyone who's here on the call, and I recognize and honor, of course, our sweet Robin LeBron, who is our executive director, and Jackie, who is such a support and on the team, Jackie Zokali, and I'm Dr. Paula Fellingham, and we are so happy to have you here. And I'm just honored that I will be able to give you this presentation, and at the end, then we could take a few questions. I think you'll be excited to know that next month, Kamal Mumad. Kamal is one of the co-founders of the International Youth Parliament. He's a regional director for the Middle East for the Global Prosperity and Peace Initiative. And he speaks 6 languages, and he was born and raised in Morocco. And now he's a movie star in Los Angeles. And but he just finished a film, fabulous film in Morocco. So you will love him. You will love him, Kamal Mumad, and he'll be with us next month. And I'm leaving it up to him as to the date. We're looking at April 18th, but we'll let you know. And he still needs to decide on his topic. As soon as we know that, we'll let you know. So you can look forward to that. All right, let's jump into the 10 keys for effective speaking, and then I'll talk about how to communicate with diplomacy. Okay, you ready? Now, this is all written out, every minute of it, and so you don't need to take any notes. Robin will send this to you because I made them documents that will go straight to you. You don't have to remember this. I invite you to share this with anyone that you think it might help. Like if you're at a university, you could use this for a topic for a presentation yourself, or you could share it with others, and I welcome you to do that always. All right, sweet ones. So the 10 keys for effective speaking. And I've been a professional speaker for about 3 decades, about 30 years. And I know that these 10 keys work and that they're very, very effective. Now, I want you to think right now of you giving a presentation to a group, because that's more of what this is about. Like if you were going to a non-government organization and you were going to present to them something, maybe you were going to talk about the first Sustainable Development Goal of the United Nations, the first SDG. What is it? Eliminate poverty. So you've created a PowerPoint, you have researched, you have worked on this, you've rehearsed it, and you're ready to present. Now, we want to be able to present always in a way that will touch hearts and change lives, that we can communicate on a heart. Because if people just understand intellectually, they aren't as motivated to take action. If you can convince the people in your big audience about what the things that you're teaching are true, and give them action steps to take afterwards, that's where I want you to think. You are on a stage and you are presenting to 300 people. And this is what I want you to know. First of all, you need to have what we call fire in the belly. What that means is that you have passion. You care so much about this topic. And if it is eliminate poverty, you've already done the work to find out about eliminating poverty in your nation, or you should have. But if you know the solutions, you know the ways to do this, then you're going to give this presentation with passion, with what we call fire in the belly. You're speaking with conviction and confidence. You have great energy. You're not talking like this. in a monotone and being very boring. You see the difference? You see how when you speak, you need that energy, that passion that communicates on a heart level. Number two, you need to have focus. When you create your presentation, then you're going to give that presentation and you don't what we call ramble. You don't go on and on and on, and then you think of a story and you tell that story, and then you come back. You don't ramble. You give your presentation with focus, making your 3 points. And they're usually three points that people can remember. And they can't remember if I said, I'm going to tell you 20 ways to do this. Well, actually, I'm going to, but but for your presentations, when people aren't being trained, they're just really receiving information from you, they can remember about 3 points. So you just have focus on those points, and you give your point, you give an example, you give statistics, you share a short story, and you go to the next point. But focus, all right? Number 3, perform. Great speakers perform. Now, whether or not you agree with this, it doesn't matter. I know they do. You need to stand up on stage as a performer, as one who is wanting the people in your audience to really pay attention to you. And how do you do that? You do that by being engaging, by looking at them right in the eyes, and you look here in the audience, and you look there, and you look up to your balcony if there's a balcony, but you just maintain eye contact with them, and paint pictures with your words, you know, and use visual aids if you can, and PowerPoints work great, but people love speakers who are entertaining and humorous. I'm not very funny, but there are lots of presenters who have that gift of humor, and they tell jokes and the people laugh, and I love that. It's not my gift, but it's the gift of many others. All right, now if you are, there's still a little bit of noise. If you could click mute. I clicked mute all, but I still hear a little background. Okay, number 4, use color. Now, as a speaker, what do I mean, use color? That means speak with variety, so that it's not all just black and white, that you use reds with a high, passionate tone, but then you get softer. You got a microphone, and so you can speak. Click mute, my friends, click mute, because I can hear some background noise, and I need you all to just click mute for yourselves, okay? Would that be okay? So you talk with energy and high, and then low and fast, and then you say, listen very carefully to what I have to say. You see the difference between the way I was speaking and that? So when I say use color, it means use, you know, talking like Technicolor with the light shades, the dark shades, the vibrant, the muted. And when you think about it in colors, your voice should then reflect those colors of, like I said, hi, speak up here, and then later talk down here, and use your voice as an instrument. And then you could be louder, softer, okay?
Yep.
5. Oh dear, be very careful and mute yourself. Press mute. Thank you. Learn to use your eyes. So I talked about eye contact. That's very important. But when you look out to your audience, then linger for a while. Linger there. Lingering means look at them a little longer. Look and wait and talk and talk. Don't do this. Don't do this. You know, you look, then you look to the other side, and you wait and you talk, then you look to the other side. It's important. That's important. Number 6 is to use your face and smile. Practice in the mirror. Practice speaking, smiling while you're speaking. You see, I can smile and I can speak at the same time. But look at me now. Now I'm talking without smiling, and it's not a very pretty picture. And I'm not using variety in my voice. I'm just talking to you, and it's boring. And you would rather have me smile. Put on a smile. Come with your energy, Dr. Paula. That's what they want from you. You too. Okay, have a cheerful expression and what we call twinkling eyes. You know, make your eyes twinkle so that you look like that. All right, expression in your face. Now, number 7 is pay attention to the rest of your body as well. You know, have you ever seen a speaker on a stage just go back and forth and walking back and forth? You're like, hold still, just hold still. So you talk in one position and you speak and you look at the people and you're smiling and you're giving your presentation, and then you walk across the stage and then you hold still again. You don't just, and you don't sway back and forth while you're talking. Have you ever seen people do that? And it's annoying. You're like, hold still. And so I want you to be students of what works as a presenter, because as a leader, let me repeat that, as a leader, as a guardian of tomorrow, you have many opportunities to make presentations, and you need to make those opportunities. You need to be proactive, calling and setting up opportunities for you to share your message with others. Okay, number 8, you need to have great posture. It's hard for me to show you now sitting up because I'm on a chair, but with your shoulders back, your chin's up, this confidence. Have you ever seen, I mean, look at this, the shoulders down and you're looking up like this. This does not exude confidence. And as a guardian of tomorrow, as a leader, you want people to see as confident. And that is your posture, shows a lot in your posture. When you walk in a room, when you walk on stage, your shoulders are back, you're smiling, your chin is up, and you exude, you radiate confidence. That's part of being a great speaker, your body language, okay? And then number 9 is to involve your audience. Ask questions, and even if you say, do you agree with me that, and then on and on, how many agree with me? Raise your hand, and then they raise their hands. But you see, you're engaging them, and they're answering in, answer these questions in your mind, because you don't want them to, you know, 1,000 people, they can't be answering your questions, right? Answer the question in your mind, or raise your hand. Touch your heart if you believe this, that you involve the audience as you are presenting. Okay, I want to remind you lovingly, please press mute. There's a M-U-T-E, click mute. I already clicked mute all, but it didn't work, I guess. Nida, honey, can you click mute? Nida, Rahim? Nida, Rahim, can you click mute, sweet girl? Oh, Robin, I wish you could do this. I wish Robin could just click mute for everybody. So the last one, and this is so important, is, thank you, Nita, is practice, practice, practice. Really know your material. Don't what we call wing it. Don't just wait to the last minute. Don't procrastinate and wait to the last minute and then hurry and get your presentation together, because you won't really know it. You need time to practice. Practice in front of friends. Practice in front of your family. Practice giving your presentation with people you trust. If you know that maybe your sister is going to sit and laugh at you the whole time, don't do it for them. Do it for somebody that you trust and that you know will give you good feedback. They'll say, I noticed you were rocking, or I noticed you said, speak. Now let me tell you about this. Oh my goodness. When you practice, then you'll be able to have people tell you if you're doing that. And a lot of young people say the word like. They're like, and then we went there and it was like then I want to be like, and just eliminate anything that you say that is not focused on your presentation, especially the ums. That's very annoying. But what you're doing is you are performing, you are practicing, and then you are performing, and you are presenting with purpose and passion. Let me say that again. You are practicing, you are performing, you are presenting with purpose and passion. Okay? Now, all of that is going to come to you in an email that Robin will send to you. Okay, let's talk about the do's and the don'ts when you're communicating with diplomacy. So what is diplomacy? I looked it up in the dictionary so I would give you the exact right definition. And it is the art or practice of conducting negotiations with skill, close quote. So then another one in another dictionary said skill in conducting any affair. So what does that mean? That means that it's about what you say and what you do. It's also about how you say it in an effort to have the person with whom you're communicating either collaborate with you or conduct business with you or continue with you in any way or give you what it is that you are asking for. So I'd like you to pretend with me now. I'd like you to use imagination. And I'd like you to think, okay, in this scenario that Dr. Paula is going to give me, I am going in to talk to a leader of a non-government organization, an NGO, who can collaborate with me to help me with my, the eliminate poverty. That's the first sustainable development goal we're working on. So I'm going in to help get support and funds, money. So support and money is what this imaginary scene is. Now you are going to walk in and you are going to give this, you're going to be speaking to this person with diplomacy. So I wrote 10 don'ts, don't do this. And I wrote 20, do this. Okay, you ready? So you have already researched your issue. And what's the issue? The first SDG is eliminate poverty. You've already researched. You already know what the problems are in your nation. You already know the solutions in your mind of how, or even if it's one solution, you're going to go talk to this person to try to get funds, money, and to collaborate with them, okay? So now you've been told by this person, this is a man you're going to talk to. And let's say his name is Mr. Nasasira, okay? So Mr. Nasasira. So you're going to be talking to Mr. Nasasira, but his assistant already told you on the phone before you came that she doesn't think he's going to be very interested in this. She doesn't think that this is going to be something he even wants to talk about. So you know that ahead of time, and you're going to already be thinking, how can I help him agree with me? How can I help him turn his opinion to be thinking, I don't have time for this person, to, oh yes, I'd like to give you money and I'd like to collaborate with you. So you have a big job and you need to communicate with diplomacy. And again, what is that? Being able to communicate in ways that help that person not be offended and agree to collaborate with you, okay? So you want him at the very least to listen to your presentation with an open mind. So you're going in to him, you've prepared well, you've researched the problem, you created an excellent PowerPoint presentation with your talking points. You are clean, you are well dressed, you look awesome, and you're prepared physically, mentally, and emotionally in every way. So this is the time to really understand diplomacy, how you can, what was the definition? It's a skill in conducting any affair. So this is what you do not do. You do not do this. You do not act afraid. You do not act timid. You know what that means?
Mm-hmm.
Your shoulders down, your head down, even if you might be afraid in your head, my friends, but your body language doesn't show it. You're acting as if you already are that successful person. You're being so confident. Okay, go ahead and click mute, because I just heard somebody clear their throat. Click mute. Okay, number 2, do not offend the person you're talking to. Now, what if he handed you, let's say you were in China, and he handed you his business card. I should have a business card right here. This is just a regular card. And he handed you his business card, and you took it and you just put it in a pocket. You would be offending them. In China, the business card represents their business, their life, work, their everything they care about. And they hand it to you like this. And you take it like this. And you hold it with honor and respect. So in Africa, that's not really that's not culturally the same. But how would that person, if they handed you the business card and you just grabbed it and put it away? No, you still, anywhere, in any nation, 195 nations, but 195 nations, as you know, are recognized by the United Nations. You take that business card and you honor it for a minute and you hold it, and it's important to you. You cannot offend the person that you are trying to negotiate with. That's the opposite of diplomacy. So what you want to do is you want to, ahead of time, research. Who is this person? What is his education? What is his background? Where did he grow up? The more you talk about with him that you have in common, the more, the better it is for you. And that he's going to want to, hopefully, it's really communicating with diplomacy. Your research is finding out everything about this person. And then when you talk to them, you say, I understand that you were raised in, let's say, the Philippines. And I love the Filipino women or people. I've been to the Philippines, or I researched the Philippines before I came here. Whatever. You want to talk to that person so that he knows that you know about him and that you cared enough to learn about him. Then I want you to look at his body language. When you walk in, look at what he's doing. Does he have a sad face? Is he can you tell, can you discern what his mood is? If he's standing there bright and cheerful, you have a lot easier easier opening than if he's just grumpy and looks at you like, what do you want? Well, that's harder to overcome. So then you want to talk about him. You want to say, how's your day been? Well, not so good. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I learned that you're from the Philippines, and you just deflect it and you talk about something. Or I learned that you graduated from Stanford University in the United States. Or find out about him. Now, what if you Google him and you can't find out? Ask his secretary, ask his assistant if you can. They're wonderful resources. And you say, tell me about him so that I can be well prepared for this meeting. She'll tell you and she'll be impressed. She won't probably tell you the personal things, but she'll tell you, ask about where was he educated. Do you understand? And you try to be that person. Now, I want you to just flip from that person right now to your roommate or your brother, sister, or your parent. Because we're going to talk later about diplomacy in your life that's not your business type of your life, or not as an ambassador. As a person who wants to be sharing love and being a leader in your family, in your community, in your nation, I want you to be thinking about being diplomatic in everything you do. And part of that means whenever you're communicating, you try to be that person with their needs, their desires, their problems, and get out of yourself. Stop thinking about yourself. Focus on them. If you want to be successful as a leader and as a diplomat and in any situation. Okay. So that's number, and on number 2, find out about his, cultural background, but also the status. Like, what's his position in the NGO? You might be talking to somebody who's not even a decision maker unless you find out and you really ask to talk to the decision maker. Okay. Number 3, don't apologize. Oh, this is one of my pet peeves. People that get up and they say, you like in a presentation, they'll say, well, I didn't have much time to prepare because I was so busy. And I'm like, then get off the stage. I mean, that sounds harsh, but I just feel so strong. This. Don't apologize. Don't say, I really am sorry that I'm late, because don't be late. Be well prepared and don't make excuses. Don't apologize, because they don't want to hear it, and it makes you not look as good. And and then another thing is number 4, don't complain. Oh, the traffic was horrible, or isn't it hot outside? Is that helpful for you? No. In diplomacy, all those things, everything that you want is to position yourself as that leader, that confident, radiant leader. Okay? And don't blame. Don't blame. This is one of the worst things, when you're talking in the conversation with a person, when they're saying this happened, and then you say, oh my gosh, but it was their fault. It's the government's fault. It's my parents' fault. It's your boss's fault. Don't blame them. They can blame, but you as a strong person in a negotiation situation, don't point fingers at others. It shows that you are not as strong as those who do not blame, because that's a sign of weakness, my friends. Complaining, criticizing, blaming, those are all negative things. Release them from your lives. All right, number 6 is don't interrupt. When he's talking, don't interrupt. So important. Number 7, I already told you, don't say oh my gosh, it's so immature and it's so unprofessional. Release that from your vocabulary. Okay. Number 8, don't use absolutes. Now, all of these I'm going to give you. Robin's going to send this to you. Don't use absolutes. They never do this. They always do that. Just don't do it. Robin doesn't have to send them. I can actually send them. I'm so sorry, Robin. I'm saying, Robin, I'll send you because I'm so used to that. Okay, number 9, do not react with frustration. No matter if you feel it in your heart, don't be frustrated, okay? Keep that smile, that interested look. Keep looking at them. Keep nodding, smiling, acknowledging what they're saying, but don't show outside agitation, frustration. Keep it in your heart. It's unprofessional to sit there going, gosh, I can't believe you said that. That's not being diplomatic. And number 10, this is so important.
Yes, bro.
Go ahead, Gerald, honey, hit mute. Gerald, honey, hit mute.
Oh, yes.
I can hear you. Yeah. Okay. And it's don't argue. That is, again, the opposite of being diplomatic. When you get into an argument with a person you're trying to convince to your side of things. Okay, here are the 20 do's, and I'll go a little faster on this. Number 1, do. So, well, they don't all start with do's. Number 1 is be well prepared in every way. Rehearse, that's like practicing. Respond well and be resilient. What does resilient mean? If you think in your mind he's going to act this way and he doesn't, then be resilient. Just come right back and think of another way or to approach it a different way. If he hurts your heart, be resilient. Don't allow, remember we talked about this, no one can offend you without your permission. No one can offend you without your permission. And do you know what? I've always quoted Eleanor Roosevelt with that. And you know who said it first? I found that exactly in the quotes of Gandhi. And then later I found that Eleanor Roosevelt, who is that quote in the United States, we attribute to Eleanor Roosevelt. But she said she got it from Gandhi. Well, Gandhi said it first. So Gandhi said, no one can offend you without your permission. So if you get angry, you only have, it's you choose to be angry. So if this person with whom you're makes you angry by something he says, that's on you. It's not on them. So just don't allow that to happen. Two, be knowledgeable. Know what you're going to say. Absolutely. Here's important. Listen. Practice anticipating what he's going to say. So when you're thinking, before you go into the conversation, you think, what is he going to ask me? What is he going to not want to do? What is he going to push back on? And those are the things, my friends, you get ready in your mind to answer in case he asks you that. Okay? So number 3, demonstrate a positive, very positive, open, calm, and understanding attitude throughout the whole meeting. Okay, positive, open, that means your heart is open to whatever he's going to say. Calm, you just react calmly. And understanding attitude. So whatever he says, you're gonna think that's coming from his heart. Even if I disagree with it, that's his heart feeling. That's the way he really believes. So I'll just honor that. That's called understanding. Okay, number 4, look right in their eyes. Right in their eyes. Have you ever had somebody, now what if I was doing this? Now look right in their eyes. You see, you've got to look in their eyes. Just be right there, right there. I hope that it looks like I tried to put my camera right where my eyes were. Okay, but don't look away. Just be focused on them. Number 5 is to be cheerful. Smile. I said 6. Okay, somebody needs to mute. Please click mute. Put your thing and click mute because we can hear. Doreen, honey, click mute. M-U-T-E. Click mute. Okay. All right. Number 6 is to acknowledge their comments. Like if you were speaking to me and I'm listening, I'd be going like this. Yeah, okay. But I wouldn't be going, you know, your body language. So you've got to, and occasionally you can say yes, or I understand, but you've got to have that communication both ways. They're talking, you're acknowledging. Okay, number 7, and I already said this, whether you're sitting or you're standing, and you'll probably be sitting, use good posture. And number 8, I've talked about radiate confidence. And you do that with all of the ways that I've been telling you. Doreen, honey, click. She did. She clicked mute. Good. No, Doreen, click mute, honey. Click mute. Doreen, honey, can you hear me? There we go. Perfect. All right. Number 9, be honest. Everything you say, be honest and extremely sensitive to their mood and their position. Number 10 is be kind. Number 11, try to understand them before you try to be like when they're talking, don't just be thinking about what you're going to say next. Don't just be thinking about that. Listen and then try to understand their position. And that takes me to 12, which is listen really well. And I just explained that. Number 13, rephrase comments. For like if he's, you know, we're really under budget. I mean, we're really over budget right now. We don't have very much money. Then you say, I understand that you don't have very much money. And then you suggest an alternative. How can we collaborate together so that we can bring in money together? Okay. All right. Next is ask great questions. Think of your questions ahead of time. Write them down and be prepared with the questions. Number 15, give your presentation to him, the PowerPoint or whatever you have, a handout, whatever, but give it to them with, this is so important, listen, compelling evidence. That means very important evidence that will hopefully persuade him to either consent to give you the funds or to take your request seriously to maybe a board who would make the decisions, or to agree to collaborate with you. So it's so important that you give compelling evidence. What is compelling evidence? Statistics say it's been proven that this has worked in all these countries. They do this. Australia does this. Senegal does this. The Gambia does this. England does this. Do your research, and when you're trying to persuade somebody, then use science, use facts, use statistics. This is great. But how will you know that if you don't take the time to research? You must take the time to prepare for any important meeting that you have. Just like I prepared, and I created these. I didn't go to some book and find them. This isn't Dale Carnegie. This is Dr. Paula Fellingham sitting at her computer, and after a prayer, saying, what do they need to know? And imagining you being in a meeting with someone that you want to get funds from, or that you want their support, or collaborate, to be a collaborative partner. So you could do the same thing. You research, you think in your imagination, what is it going to be like? You do your homework, you write things out, you write out your questions that you're going to ask. You prepare well. All right, the next is to number 16, and I'm guilty of this. Number 16 is to not repeat yourself. I do that. I need to get better at that. But when you're talking, don't repeat yourself. Try to say it once. Sometimes I'll say to you, now listen carefully, and I'll repeat it for emphasis. But when you're talking with another adult, and especially somebody older than you, you would not say that. So because they're smart, they get it the first time. Number 17, give brief, short answers, right to the point, showing evidence, like I said, with statistics and good reasons of why your project should be funded or why they should collaborate with you. You have to go in there really knowing why and answer that question. And then next is the HOW. It's the how. Here's why, and now here's how. I have 7 ways that will benefit you if you collaborate with me. Or there are 5 things, ways that you will benefit by funding my project. You see what I'm saying? Be ready with reasons of why and telling them how. And that all comes from you being well prepared and having done research. This is one of the reasons why Robin asked you all to do these assignments, is because then you have practice doing exactly what I'm talking about. There are reasons why we ask you to do these things. And because it's helpful and it will help you prepare for real life. Well, you have real life right now, but for the future as a leader, okay? All right, so anticipated questions and be ready to answer them succinctly, briefly, with the why and the how. Number 18, be flexible. Your ability to be flexible in different situations is an indication of your strength of character. Just be flexible. And if you have to change things at the last minute because he said something that made you realize, oh my gosh, I can't use that part. I need to really focus on this new area that he just told me about that I didn't know about. Be real flexible and be able to do that, okay? And consider a compromise. If no, then you either are going to say, okay, how can we come to a compromise? How can I give you what you need and you give me a little of what I need and we meet in the middle? That's fair, using a lot of diplomacy. So that's one thing you could talk about. But then if he's firm no and don't ask me, and it's a firm no, thank you very much, but I this is a no. Then in your mind you just say next, because there are a lot of people that you can then go talk to. And when you get no, when you're a salesperson, just think next. Nope, you say next, because it's a numbers game, my friends. How you ask, there are going to be some that are going to say yes. So just keep asking. That's advice for all of us. Okay, number 19, there are only 20. Remain calm no matter what. Don't lose that temper. If you get a no, then do you want to still be working with this person? Yes. Do you want to keep the door open for another time that you're going to be able to meet with him? Or maybe think about if you lose your temper and you're like, I can't believe you gave me a no and I gave you all. I mean, never say that. But what I'm telling you is you want to say, I would love to be able to talk to you again in the future, because maybe things will change. Maybe you'll be able to have more funds. Could I come back in 6 months? Or could I come back in 3 months? And we'll see if things are different. See, that's a perfect time to ask that question. And you want to keep the doors open. And you want to leave that person with a wonderful, good feeling of friendship and hope for the future. So, and that's my number 20. Leave cheerfully with positive about future possibilities with that person. So those are the 20. You're going to get all those. I'd love to invite you to share them with whomever. You could use this as an assignment in your college if that's something you would, part of your assignment. You could talk about being trained by Dr. Paula Fellingham, and these are the things you learn. Be creative in how you could learn the things, how you could use the train you on. Now, for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to talk to you from this book that I wrote. It's called Solutions for Families. And what I want you to know is that the most important relationships you have are not going to be your business relationships. The most important relationships you have are with your God and with your family. And I believe that with all of my heart. And at the end of the day, that's what's going to bring you the most joy. Yes, we need money to function and to do our business and to take care of our obligations and responsibilities and to eat and on all the things. But if you're so focused on money that you ignore the most important relationships in your life, or you're so focused on whatever it is, your hobby, or maybe your phones, or maybe, WhatsApp or Facebook or Instagram or anything that you're on that detracts from your life, the quality of your life, then assess yourself, evaluate, and be strong and realize that this is not the time to waste time. It's time, my friends, to be learning. And I applaud you for being on this call, because it shows me that you care about your future. You care about being trained. You care about learning so that you could be the best person possible and live your very best life. Because each should be learning and teaching. Learning and teaching. And how do you teach best? Albert Schweitzer said this. He was a great humanitarian. He said, there are only 3 ways to teach. The first is by example. The second is by example. The third's, that's right, by example. So the life you live is teaching people your life, either for the negative or for the positive. Now, the things I'm going to tell you now are about the same things that we're talking about: speaking effectively and communicating with diplomacy, but with your roommates. Raise your hand if you are, raise your hand if you're in college right now. If you're in college right now, a university, raise your hand. Raise your hand. Nobody? Okay. So then a better example is maybe with your business, with people in business and people in your home. So university, in your home, in your business, these are all principles that I want you to really understand. Now, what I'm going to do is email you this whole book. I'm going to email you this book, whole book. There are 24 lessons, and it says to give in the home. And I'd love to have you either use them for any purpose, but go ahead and get them in your home because they're very short and they're very important to the quality of your life. If you're not being kind, the first 4 lessons are on kind thoughts, kind words, kind tone of voice, and kind actions. And so they're simple, but they're important. Okay, so what I wanted to do is talk to you about, it's not always about what you say, but it's how you say it. Now think diplomacy, think negotiation, think quality relationships with everybody in your life. So now what if you said to somebody, you know, you always do this and it bugs me, it just drives me crazy. And you talk like that, you never do this. Those are called absolutes when you say always or never. How about if you said, you know, sometimes I've noticed that when we're doing this, you do this. And you know what? I've had kind of a hard time with that too. But I've noticed that you do it. Is it okay if we talk about it? And then that way better than accusing somebody with a you always do this, you never do that. Do you understand? These are ways of being, of ways of talking, ways of communicating that will help you be liked, loved, help you be a beloved leader. Okay, so another one is, you know, you make me angry. Well, we already talked about that. Nobody makes you angry. You know, you just say, you know, I take the blame here. I'm feeling upset. My emotion right now is that I'm getting upset. I feel myself getting upset, but you don't blame them. It's you that's getting upset because I've noticed that sometimes this happens and it's happened several times. And how can I be part of the solution? Did you hear that, sweet friends? So you take it, you own it. I'm frustrated because this happens. You're not blaming, you just say, you know what, this is what we decided we'd do, and it's not happening. How can I help? How can I be part of the solution? Do you see how magical that is? So you own the emotion, you don't blame, but you just explain what the problem is without blaming, without pointing fingers at the other person, and then you say, what can I do to help here? Do you see how powerful that is? That is being diplomatic when you're speaking. And it's not just with a business, it's with your parents, it's with your siblings, it's with your friends. Okay? And then instead of, why do you do this? You say, you know, help me understand what you're thinking. Help me understand what you're thinking. Somebody that the 2 women who are on this call, who are leaders of the International Youth Parliament, Robin and Jackie, are masters at this. We don't always agree, but what we do is we honor each other's decisions and each other's opinions. And we just say, you know what, help me understand why you're thinking this. And then we explain, and then we say, you know, I understand that's the way you feel. That's not the way I feel, but that's the way you feel. And I honor it. And thank you. That is a healthy relationship, my friends. And you don't, in the night or later, you know, you're thinking, oh, you're not harboring, you're not feeling, you know, holding in your sad, blaming feelings. No, release them. Release it. You know, people say, oh, I'm so stressed. And that's a choice. You know, you can be concerned, you can be wondering about things, but to constantly be the one that's stressed, who wants to be around the people that are just complaining that they're so stressed? Coronavirus is happening to the whole world. How are you dealing with it? Are you worried? We're all worried. But are you part of the solution? So this last week, my database, it's 53,000. I think some of you got it. I got how do we get through this crisis? Or I think I said how to cope and even sometimes thrive during tumultuous times, tender, scary, frightening times. And then I wrote, I think there were 10, maybe 7. I can't remember, but I wrote the ways that actually take advantage of this. We have more time at home. We could do things that we couldn't do when we were so frantically busy. Look at the positive side of everything, my friend, and be part of the solution and a cheerful piece instead of the one complaining and frightened. That's a leader. And you can start being leaders in your homes and in your communities, in your schools, and your churches right now. And they'll see you as that. And they'll say, oh my gosh, this person is so young, but look, they radiate light and love. And they gave me great ideas of how I can cope with this. I think you all got it, but if you didn't, I'll attach it when I send you these things too. Okay, so let's go on the next part. And I just have about 5 more minutes. The next part is communication skills to strengthen relationships. And I'm going to, this is a little bit of the repeat of things that I told you, but I'm going to, these are the benefits. So communicate and listen, we talked about that. Affirm and support each other, we talked about that. Respect each other. This is respecting. You are speaking to someone in a way that lifts them, sorry, my dogs, then they'll respect you more. If you're the grumbling one that's complaining and criticizing and being negative, does that bring respect from your peers or from anyone else? No. All right, and then people develop in those with solutions. You're sharing solutions, they respect you and trust you as a leader. That's huge. Trust is huge. And then when you communicate well, then it's good to just have a sense of humor and just laugh at some of the things instead of being so serious. Laugh, smile, and go outside. The coronavirus allows us, I'm going to be taking a walk right after this. I'm going to go take a nice walk in the sunshine. And I invite you to be thinking about how can I take advantage of this in my life? I can thank God that I'm alive, that I don't have coronavirus, and I can be a solution for others. I can be the tornado, the calm in the storm. Okay? Nurture rituals and traditions, and that is when you're communicating, honor them. And we talked about that. Spend time with those you love. I want you to read my lips. Look at my mouth right now. There is no substitute for unhurried time with your loved ones. That could be the most important thing I tell you today. Please know that you have choices about how to spend your time. And too many of our youth right now are wasting time on their devices. And I hope that's not you. Yes, you want to communicate, but they're spending hours and hours and hours that they could be learning and developing their skills. And then the last one is admit to a problem and ask for help. Really have a problem. When there's something that's really bothering you, then don't be afraid. Don't think that it's a sign of weakness. What have Robin and Jackie and I told you? We have told you that anticipated at the very beginning of the International Youth Parliament that we would have funding, money to run this and to be able to have a beautiful regional conference. Did that happen? No. Have we been working on it? Yeah. But it's a sadness in my heart. But rather than just holding it and pretending that we have all the funds in the world to make this, we just are so honest. We admit to you that this is a challenge and we're working for ways to overcome it. But I want you to know that honesty and being upfront without just saying this is the way it is and we're working to solve it is healthy. It's great for your emotional well-being. All right, the last thing I'm going to share is additional ideas, positive speaking. Positive speaking, it shows kindness. It shows that you care enough to, is it easy always to speak positively when you're tempted not to, when you're tempted to complain and criticize? No, it takes character. And that's how we started, is talking about that. Okay, so what are the benefits?
Hello?
Yep, what are the benefits?
Hello?
Hi, honey, I'm just wrapping up our training for right now. So what are the benefits of positive speaking? Number one, you have the opportunity to express yourself openly, honestly, and you should do it.
Hello?
Honey, just hit mute. Yes, just hit mute, darling. Okay, number two, another benefit of positive speaking is that it helps build a positive self-image. You want to be able to feel good about yourself. It helps others, but it also helps you to have that confidence. Number three, it builds trust in your relationships with others. People who are with you when they know that you're going to be a light in their lives. And all of you are lights, and you're lights to me, and you're lights to sweet Robin and to our wonderful Jackie. We wouldn't do this if we didn't love you. Trust us. We wouldn't, because we're not paid to do this. There's no money here. We just love you, and we want to help the next generation be better than our generation. We want to help create leaders and train you to be leaders. But there's nothing other than our love for you that is driving us and motivating us. And then the last one, as the benefit of being a positive speaker and speaking positively, is that as you do it more and more, just like with everything, you get better and better at it. And love begets love. Kindness begets kindness. What does begets means? When you have love and you give love, you get love. It comes back to you. This is taught in every religion, every religion. When I spoke at the World Parliament on Spirituality back in 2012 in Hyderabad, India, I spoke about love. I was the only Christian. Of course, there were Hindi and Muslim and Baha'is and all the Sikhs and all the wonderful spiritual beliefs and religions there, and 10,000 people. And I talked about love. And it was my whole presentation, because at the end of the day, that is what we all need, to be filled with love for our God, for ourselves, and for others. And when we can do that, and when we can have in our heart this beautiful, beautiful desire to make this world a better place, then God will bless us, and He will bless you. I wish we could take time to listen to everybody, but we can't, because it's just too difficult with so many on the line. Robin and Jackie, I'd love to have you unmute yourself if you would like. Robin and Jackie, where is Jackie? Robin? Okay. And just give it final thoughts that you might have, honey, if you have any final thoughts of goodbye and loving these sweet young people.
Well, I'm very impressed by the people that are here, and I thank all of you for being here and for continuing your positivity. And it literally comes from every single one of you to bring out the true feeling of why you are on this earth. And we are here to encourage your passion and your place on this earth. Do not ever think that this is not the beginning of tomorrow, because what we will envision is what we are building as a team. That is the most important thing, is to continue in all the countries of the world to continue the positive nature and to build, starting from scratch. And that's what we're doing. We're cleansing. And then what we will find as you get home and stay home and are building those relationships with the people next to you, the most beautiful love there is, unconditionally. Some will make it, some won't. You are strong. You will make it because you see that value and the love that was given and is given to you that you can share with others. I am here for you.
Thank you so much, Jackie. You're so precious. Robin?
Yeah, I've done a lot of thinking about the coronavirus, and I know this may actually be a blessing for the world. It's forcing us to slow down. It's forcing us to spend time with people that we barely say hi to during the day, our family, the people that we're close to, that we grow with, that we love, that we can learn from. It's a time that you can learn old skills. You can start reading more. You can learn to cook. You can, I mean, there's so many ways that things that we've lost with all the speed and the effort to make money and the, you know, the internet this and the Facebook that. And I encourage you to take this time as God's message that we need to become more human again, and that we need to embrace the old ways of loving and caring and taking care of the earth. And I think this is a message, and it's giving us maybe a forced time to experience what my parents would call the good old days, when families worked together and learned together and cooked together and ate meals together. And, you know, we have an opportunity to embrace some of that wonderful time that we've lost. And I hope that's a blessing. You know, Paul and Jackie said, you guys are leaders, so you need to shine this light to others that are fearful and help them see the silver lining in this cloud. Anyway, we love you, and we will continue to
continue to serve you. Yes. All right. I'd like to end with a reminder to you of our mission. It is to increase the level of love, prosperity, and peace on earth. All right, thank you. I love you all. Go ahead and unmute and tell each other goodbye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hello, Zen. Hi, Gilbert.
bye.
Thank you.
Hi, Victoria.
Bye, man. Thank
Hi,
you.
Calvin.
Yeah, thank you.
Touch at least 2 other people that you haven't spoken to for a while. That's
Oh, that's a good goal.
at
That's
least
a good
2
goal.
other people that you haven't spoken to.
Oh, that's a good one. Yay, Kwong, thank you. Thank you, Bato. Tell each other
Thank
goodbye.
you. Thanks to everybody.
You're welcome. Unmute. Unmute.
Bye,
Speak.
guys.
Say goodbye. We love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Dear ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye,
Bye-bye.
and don't
Bye-bye.
forget to wash
We
your
love
hands.
you.
Yeah, wash your hands.
Wash
I
your
love it.
hands.
Wash your hands.
Sure to wash your hands, right. Amen.
That's right. Love you. I'm going to
Love you
stop the
too.
recording now.
Gotta love